We can get started now. Thanks for everyone for joining. I know you guys are very busy. You got a lot to do, and we appreciate and respect your time today. We're here for a webinar for I think a very important topic, which is the integrations. It's a very core part of the product and the value delivery. We're here to talk about for those who have not yet integrated either Jira or ADO, why, what the benefits are for that integration, and for those that are already connected, we're going to show you some big product improvements and enhancements that we're making to the integration experience and extra additional benefits that you guys are going to have. We're going to put up a poll. So this is the agenda here. We're going to put up a poll that asks if you've either connected Jira, ADO, or neither yet, and we want to love to hear your thoughts just to understand who's attending. And just as way of introduction, for those who don't know, my name is Stephen Cohen. I'm the CEO of ProductPlan. My background is that I'm a 4-time founder, so I'm a product builder like all of you. And I've been involved heavily in getting products from 0 to 1, as well as scaling different products. And I became CEO in January. So excited to meet you all. And of course, my partner here is Charlotte Gutrich, and she is an amazing product manager, rising star for sure, an excellent speaker, far better communicator than I am. So you'll see that in a minute. And so she's going to go into the details.
All right. Thank you. Happy to be here, everyone.
Do you want to go next slide? There we go. So let me start. I'll do a couple of quick overview slides, and then we'll hand it over to Charlotte to get into the demo, the product demo, and what the changes are. So for those who have not integrated yet with Jira or ADO, or have and frankly don't know why they've done that. So there's a couple of core benefits to integrating your product delivery to your roadmap. Uh, in the highest level, it presents a single source of truth to connect your delivery to your corporate strategy. So in this view of the new roadmap, you'll see on the far left is your objectives, your initiatives, and then your delivery, your product delivery inside the roadmap. It keeps continual alignment between delivery and your strategy and what you're messaging to your stakeholders. So it's constantly updating real time decisions and keeping track of progress. So this is kind of like a one single view for your stakeholders who won't be in your DevOps tool to see how your product and engineering team is delivering against corporate strategies. Go to the next slide. There's two big core themes that are going to come out in the demo about big changes that we've made to the integration. The first one is a simplified setup. In the current product plan, setup is done at the individual editor level, and it's created a lot of confusion and challenge and friction. And we've moved that to the admin level, and that is going to drive a tremendous, just much easier, lower, easier user experience, lower friction there. And then better field mapping, and you'll see that in the demo as well. So simplified sign up and setup process. And the last one, the second big core theme, is built for the day to day. So real time sync both ways. Gone are going to be the days of the batch integrations, the batch bulks integrations, and for those who have those big batch bulks, they know they can fail sometimes. It creates challenges, and sometimes you're waiting for an update. And so this is going to be now real time both ways. It's bi-directional integration as well, so you'll be able to edits that you make in ProductPlan, you'll be able to push directly into your DevOps tool. Just faster, easier workflows. This image here is an unassigned items drawer that sits over top of your roadmaps for easy drag and drop. It's just much easier than the current, easier user experience than the current setup. So really, the theme is how do you move faster? The theme of this is integrations wired for speed. it's also wired for usability and simplicity, right? So how do we make this experience better and easier and faster for you? And that's really the core themes of what you're going to see in the product demo. So with that, I'll stop talking and hand it over to Charlotte to show you in detail.
All right, thank you very much, Stephen. Let me go ahead and jump over. And just to kind of provide a quick note on what you're looking at, this is a design prototype. And when you see this incorporated into ProductPlan this fall, it'll look a little bit different, but the concepts and the functionality are real. And to set a solid foundation for today's webinar, I want you to keep in mind that we are reimagining the roadmap experience in ProductPlan really from the ground up. This is to help you more effectively manage and communicate your strategic roadmap plans. And we have two principles guiding everything we're building. That first one being that roadmaps should be a communication tool and not just a reporting tool. And that requires active stakeholder engagement and feedback. So we're adding in some engagement features and giving the opportunity to really cater to your audience. That second pillar is really that building a roadmap should take minutes and not days or hours. We want it to be as easy as possible for your team to construct and maintain your product roadmaps. And that's kind of the focus of today's webinar. We're really focusing on the ease of use with integrations so that you can get to the end state of a shareable roadmap that's a reliably accurate depiction of your development progress. And I'll go ahead and jump into the integrations portion and then come back to that roadmap. But one of the core pain points that we've heard around integrations really surrounds that user level configuration, which can put more responsibility but less control onto your administrative owners. And so we're overhauling the integrations, starting with that simplified setup experience. Kind of with that in mind, moving to the admin level configuration. I'll use Jira as the example for today's webinar, but thinking about consistent functionality across the Jira and Azure DevOps integrations, the steps to configure myself as an account admin goes about by selecting Jira type. No more entering your URL is necessary, just kind of discerning whether you're on that cloud or the on-prem version. Proceeding with the authentication, just verifying access through that OAuth option, bringing me back to ProductPlan to proceed with my project selection. And this is not something that's set in stone when you first select, but it is going to inform your field mapping step, which is to follow. So selecting what projects I have access to as an admin and mapping the corresponding fields. And this page here is going to really take an uplift of how you're mapping your fields today, thinking about just a single field mapping to expand to more flexibility between ProductPlan and Jira or ADO. So you can see here I have my BWA web and mobile, and I might have some variance in the types of fields that I have across those Jira projects. And this is where I'm able to more flexibly map those. So I tend to use end date as an example, where your end date in ProductPlan might correspond to target date in one project and due date in another. And this change really gives you flexibility in what source of field data you're pulling from for your respective projects. And this step really also gives control of the data flow to your admins more explicitly. Each field that is available for that bi-directional sync, which we're expanding on, so a much more expansive list than really what you're used to today, would be something that is up to your discretion. So if you would like those updates to flow both ways, meaning that ProductPlan can influence Jira's start and end date values, then opting for that bi-directional quality. But some fields you might not want to be taking ProductPlan into account, and development should be the source of truth. So that function will still be available. And expanding on some of that bi-directional quality, I'll take drop-down fields as an example, where our drop-down fields can be mapped with Jira and ADO today. They aren't only that single directional sync, so expanding that to encompass the bi-directional quality. and allowing you to customize by project what's the corresponding field that I want to pull from. So in this example, I might have teams for my web project. Some of those development terms might not be what you want to portray on your roadmap for external or higher level stakeholders. Customizing that by project and making sure that ProductPlan is really utilizing the correct fields as the source of truth for your information. And an additional kind of capability that we're adding in here as you're managing your fields is the ability to just create a new field from here. So if I'm setting up my field mappings, it's the first time, and I realize I have yet to standardize everything quite yet on the ProductPlan side. So being able to establish, say, that single select drop down for my release groups right then and there to make sure that all of the fields that I'm hoping to sync are available and ready right at that time. So that's a kind of a small enhancement that I'd like to call out in terms of your standardization processes that account admins are in charge of right now. But taking your field mappings here, and this is really the final step of your configuration process. The next step of your integration is going to be taking these fields and making sure to set up that saved query import. And that is going to be completed in your product settings. So I'd like to give just a quick frame of reference here. We are expanding on some of the organization mechanisms for roadmap storage, which the main thing is we're pulling this under our product segmentation model to allow for more organization in your folders and governance over who can access what roadmaps, where your product segmentation will be the primary source of permissions and sharing roadmaps across your organization. Really, the goal of that is so that your portfolio grows as your roadmap index is scaling and it's a less flat structure. Also the addition here and the more obvious shift that you're going to see in the navigation is this backlog section. And really, this section will be replacing the current table view, planned and parked section to encompass everything from your chosen product in a more global view. So if you do want to narrow down to see a specific roadmap backlog, maybe you're paying specific attention to the parked and the planned kind of movement, that will still be possible through our filters and that similar column organization, deciding what columns you want to see, what fields are of importance when you're kind of navigating this view, but changing where you access it. So this is going to be something that's more accessible from your navigation and still holds kind of the same function, but wanted to set that lay of the land in case you missed our last webinar or haven't had a chance to chat with the team, that there's some organization changes. And really that's going to inform your product level settings, where as I'm finalizing that data flow between ProductPlan and Jira, all of my saved query imports will be set at the product level instead of set for specific roadmaps. So each product will have a single saved query import per integration instance that dictates the items populating into that backlog section automatically. And this can kind of save you some of the trouble of copy and pasting your filter URLs, where you can just establish more of a dynamic JQL query directly. If maybe like me, JQL is more of a foreign language to you, just go ahead and pivot to the natural language section. And this will utilize our AI to establish the JQL query for you based off of what you give it. So in this case, I would just want to see all of the items that are not yet done in my BWA Jira project. And this will give me a preview of the number of items that are within that query. And kind of with the shift from roadmap to product level queries, we recommend casting a wider net, because only items that fit your established criteria here will actively be updated with those integration changes. So kind of a shift in conceptualizing how to set up your query, but making it wider and more accessible for your product. And this query configuration, when you save this, is the final step in the admin setup. And once it's saved, it's ready for editors to log in and take advantage of that established connection. This was a pretty big shift, so championed by our engineers at ProductPlan, aiming to minimize the setup time for your team, whether you're brand new to ProductPlan or maybe one of our loyal and long-term customers, to just look to your backlog section as an editor. And once that query has been established and saved, I mentioned all the matching items will be automatically pulled in real time. So not waiting for a manual or that nightly sync. They'll be available immediately to be managed more widely by your editor group. For example, my loyalty program expansion, this was something that just came in, and I can open up the drawer to see all the details via the integration, and also signifying when there are fields that are utilizing only Jira as the source of truth or taking into account that bi-directional quality, with my dates, for example, down here being an integrated field, but something that I'm able to modify and change up as I'm kind of navigating through ProductPlan. So that process would be really automatic for your team to bring in everything that matters to you as new things are added, whether they're added in ProductPlan or added on the Jira side. This backlog acts as a global view of everything that's relevant for your specific product. And if you're starting maybe more fresh into a roadmap, so I guess starting from scratch, this would be a source where you can drive new content, creating a roadmap from your backlog items. And you can always drive from multiple products if you're accomplishing more of a cross-functional view and you want to see higher level portfolio. Being able to visualize and add additional filters, really to get to that end state of a roadmap that reflects your development progress, but that caters to your stakeholder groups more actively. And I would say the best part here is your development hierarchy will be automatically inherited in ProductPlan. So this is going to nest your child epics under their parent initiatives and those child stories under their parent epics. And this is part of our shift as well to make initiatives a native component of our roadmap. So adding a third hierarchical layer to your timelines and your board views that allows you to see kind of beyond just the container and the bar level that we have today to encompass higher level items. And that's something that will be automated through the process, kind of regardless of what level items you're bringing in. And kind of switching over, this is a roadmap that's already in progress. So if you're working on an existing roadmap, look to the right side of your screen for that timeline or board view unassigned items drawer. And this is going to be a direct reflection of your product backlog. This is something that kind of replaces the table view parked section, as it's reflecting all of the items within my Blue Wave Airlines product that are not currently present on my roadmap. So this can be a source for filtering. If this list is getting pretty long, you've got more roadmaps than I do, being able to filter down, narrow your search, and then really flexibly drag and drop initiatives, epics, and stories from that drawer right onto your roadmap. And this drag and drop functionality will automatically assign some of those core values to your roadmap data based on where you place it. So in this case, I have my objectives as a primary grouping and a custom drop-down field for teams as my secondary grouping. So placing things through drag and drop will automatically assign those values for me. And same goes for if I'm dragging and dropping something brand new to be able to place initiatives into their respective homes, same with epics and stories. All right, okay, moving on to, let's think about the data synchronization. So this is probably the aspect of the integration that you care most about, is how is ProductPlan staying in sync with your Jira and your Azure DevOps updates? And as we're kind of paying special attention to your integration workflows, we are doing away with the manual and nightly sync approach. Instead, as I open up an example epic here, if I need to make changes to this on the Jira side, they'll be reflected automatically in ProductPlan in real time. And same goes for any of those bi-directional fields that you're setting on the ProductPlan side. If I need to push this out, maybe extend the dates because it's a higher level effort item than we anticipated, to be able to update those bi-directional synced fields and save that to push changes over to Jira right in that moment. And this is really to make sure that ProductPlan is not out of date with your development progress, where any changes that are being made on either side will be accurately reflected. The one kind of unique circumstance is when you are pushing brand new items to Jira or ADO. If I'm dragging and dropping, creating something from my timeline or my board views, getting those initiatives and maybe some subsequent epics in place. This is not something where we'll automatically create brand new items in your Jira backlog. This would be a more intentional choice for your editors to decide kind of where is this going to be placed, what's the correct project for it to go in, and make sure that that's an action that you feel comfortable with, so that you're not crowding up the Jira backlog unintentionally in the planning phase. But really, all of these improvements with the integration, thinking about the setup and the query import and the synchronization, these are part of our larger effort to really make roadmaps easier to use and to maintain slimming down the creation and the editing experience. But all of your roadmaps in ProductPlan will have that same uniform functionality where you can view your initiatives and you can edit them here. Whereas today, a lot of teams might end up kind of context switching between your strategy module and your initiatives module. This will create your roadmap as a true source of truth and a source of editing, where no context is lost when you're having conversations or if you're sharing a roadmap asynchronously as well. With those integrations, the ability to pivot your roadmaps is something that I always like to emphasize. We have some of this functionality in place today with our strategic portfolio, and you can emphasize certain data points in unique ways. For example, using my objectives as that primary grouping. And the same goes for our legend capabilities. So I had set up my product area as a mapped field. And since this is a single select drop-down field, I'd be able to pivot my legend on this view to change my color coding system to reflect that field that I'm syncing with Jira. And what this does for you is make sure that the Jira updates for mobile, checkout, bookings, and web are automatically changing the catered view that I have for my stakeholders to show them what they really need to see. Same goes for those kind of pivot options. If you're trying to emphasize maybe less dates to pivot to a now, next, later view and see your initiatives, epics, and stories just in a new way. And that's really enabled through the integration as well. So I feel like I covered a lot, but hopefully it was helpful. And I want to make sure we have some time to answer questions. So let's take a look. I'll jump back in here. And we are here to answer any of the questions that pop up over the coming months. Our CS teams are enabled with all the information that they could need. And if they're missing something, we're here to help.
If you guys have questions, please feel free to use the chat or the Q&A.
No questions. I was expecting a million questions, to be honest.
Well, why don't we go to two more slides forward, and you can see that if you do have questions, you can we have office hours, and then also you can schedule a one-on-one demo, or of course you can always reach out to our CS team, our amazing CS team. and they're fully versed in all of this. Additionally, we got a plug. If you go one slide up, no, yeah. So we can get you. We have more. More content coming out for you, so we can send that both on the roadmap, which Charlotte did, and then the ideas space, which is being released in maybe like a week or so. That new ideas space is coming out very soon. Let's see, something came in here. Russ said, "Very exciting! Can't wait to start using this functionality." Awesome, great to hear. Thanks for the feedback, Russ. Any other questions, comments, praise? We take praise. Is there any way to limit who can push changes back to Jira or ADO?
This is going to be based on, so the individual editors, while they do not have to configure the integration, that'll be on the account admins, we do still need to verify that they're able to edit fields, for example, or to access certain projects. So that will be based off of your Jira permissions. If someone has the edit capabilities on the Jira or ADO side, then they would be able to push those changes back. But if they do not, then those changes would be kind of reverted to the original source of truth.
Terry, did we answer your question, or is there a follow-up? Okay, here's the follow-up. I'm just thinking we need a way to manage schedule changes, so prefer anything outside of quarterly planning needs approval first.
Yeah, I think we're not planning on instilling like a submission and approval process. It would be based off of explicit access provided in ProductPlan paired with the Jira or ADO side. It's something we could explore, but it's not slated for the initial overhaul of integrations.
It's a good thought, Terry. Terry, to answer your question? Okay, she said, Terry said, that's what I was looking for. Great. Anyone else? Questions? Well, we will be sending out this recording. And if you go back one more slide, or go forward one more slide, you can see one more. Yeah. If you do have other questions, feel free to either join the office hours, schedule a one-on-one demo, or reach out to your CSM to go through it. And unless there's anything else, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.